Welcome to the Get Offset podcast. My name is Emily.
And my name is Andrew.
And we're here today with some fun friends. Grant and Karen from Big Ear Pedals.
Yeah.
Yay!
Hello.
Big Ear NY. No more NYC.
No.
Nashville. Couple years.
It happens all the time. Yeah.
Couple years now, right?
Yeah. 4?
Going on 4.
Nice.
I think.
6.
Dang.
No, 4.
No, 4. Come
4. Took a minute. 4.
on. We don't know anything. Anyway.
You moved to Nashville after I left, and if it had been 6 years, there would have been overlap, and that would have made me sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we moved here in 2016.
Yeah, we left Nashville in 2015, Rick and I. My husband, Rick, and I, for those who are not familiar, I'm married. Someone married this.
So we've had you on the podcast previously, but that point in time, it was audio only. And so it's a pleasure to have you guys on again. And with the addition of video format, which I think is exciting. I'm
sure some people are watching.
Some people are watching, some people are listening, and that's fine. We don't fault them either way, but we
only for a probably brief period of time, because then they see me and they're like, "Ah, gotta get out of here."
Yeah, well, I mean, I need to make sure I stay strong through this episode, because last time when you insulted me, I because the camera wasn't there, I was actually just silently crying,
just weeping.
I insulted you?
No, I don't remember.
I don't remember that at all.
I just
okay. I felt bad for a second.
I think we had you on early in COVID.
It was early on in COVID, yeah, which feels
like a long time ago.
It does.
Yeah. Oh, because I remember you talked about that meme, Grant, remember places?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that meme has aged as one would expect it would.
Anyways, if you haven't listened to the episode that we had Grant and Karen on previously, also listen to that, because that was a phenomenal episode. Had a really great time.
That we can't remember at all. That's how you know it was a good conversation, when you can't remember what you talked about.
Apparently, I was just insulting everybody. I was just being a dick.
Grant's just rude.
Yeah, sorry.
I
felt bad for a second. That's as long as I can feel bad. So I give you that 1 second of.
I appreciate that you felt bad about something that never happened, and
my family.
Don't gaslight the guest. Don't gaslight
my family has been doing that to me my whole life, just making me feel bad about stuff that I didn't even ever do. But
I think that's what families are meant to do, right?
Yeah.
Categorically.
I mean, so this is airing
Not
after Thanksgiving. We're filming it before Thanksgiving.
Yep.
I don't think I'm going to be seeing any family for Thanksgiving, even though I live in the city with them, which is fine, because it's bad right now. Actually, It's not that bad in King County, but it's bad enough. Like I have friends with COVID, not friends that I've seen anytime recently, because I haven't seen anybody, but I have friends who have COVID right now.
Yeah, one of my best friends in Seattle just texted me a couple days ago. Was like, "Hey, my roommate tested positive," which means I've got it. There's just no getting around that.
Who is that? No names, but like, who is that in relation to you, Andrew?
A good friend of mine, and on both personal and professional levels. But
is it somebody that I know?
No, it's no one you know.
Okay.
Different industry.
All right.
I was going to say, not to get too crazy into the COVID thing, because I'm sure everybody talks about it all the time. And but I do want to say, speaking about my family, and where I'm from, a small town, Lewistown, Pennsylvania, originally. And I just saw an article, the county that I'm from, Mifflin County, as well as Juniata County, which is right next door, are the 2 leading counties in Pennsylvania for COVID count. And they have 21.5% of the population. So 1 in 5 people has it right now where I'm from, which is just outlandish.
Well, that's the test. That's just the test. But if you tests, right? People have been tested, right?
Oh no, I took it to mean that of the population of the county, which is not a big. We're a small place, you know. I mean, compared to like Nashville, my whole county would fit in 1 square mile of where we live right now.
But none of them.
That's even more surprising. None of them do. Yeah.
No, it's my dad it owns a jewelry store. He's an educated guy. And he has a sign outside of his store that says no masks allowed. So that's what you're dealing with. In my small little town of, it's kind of like, when I would tell people that I was from Pennsylvania, when I lived in New York City, people would always go, "Oh, Philly?" I'm like, no. There's like, Pennsylvania is a big, big state, And
it's a very big state, and the cities are just one very small part of it.
You got Philly on one side, you got Pittsburgh on the other, and you have Kentucky in the middle. And that's where I'm from. I'm from the Kentucky in the middle.
That's why they call it
Kentucky. I'm from the Kentucky of Ohio.
Yeah.
So she's from Kent, Ohio. So
land
of juggalos and what's that drink?
Faygo.
That grapefruit diet. That grapefruit diet soda.
Yeah.
Faygo. Where is Kent? Northern Ohio?
Yeah, it's about it's in sort of northern. It's an hour from Cleveland and like 20 minutes.
Which direction?
From Akron, south of Cleveland.
Okay, south. All right. I'm from Cincinnati.
Okay, yeah.
Well, I'm from Warren County, Kings Island area.
Cool.
Is Warren County? Is that like Warren, Ohio?
No.
Okay,
it's very confusing.
That's where Dave Grohl is from.
Yep.
One of the only places that I ever played a show and got ripped off by the venue owner.
Oh my god! Well, screw that guy.
Yeah.
No wonder Dave Grohl.
Hometown. I wanted to go see Dave Grohl Alley, which I think is hilarious. That Dave Grohl has an alleyway. Like, they didn't give him a road, like a street. They gave him Dave Grohl Alley.
They should give him a damn hospital. Like that.
Yeah, it's just this.
They should give him their biggest park.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's kind of a bigger alley, from what I've seen from photos, because I did not get to go there. But there's like a big sculpture of drumsticks, and it's all graffitied out and sticker plastered everywhere. It's, as punk as Warren, Ohio can get, I guess.
I mean, it's definitely a very gritty place.
Yeah.
By the way, I ordered a shirt and I really hope it comes in soon. It's gritty on a lawnmower, and it says something like Four Seasons Total Landscaping, not the Four Seasons Hotel, or something like that.
My buddy
gritty on a ride more.
My buddy actually got in the mail an actual Four Seasons landscaping shirt.
They're taking this
They've been selling a whole bunch of merch. They hired a social media manager for after this.
They said that when the Eagles win the Super Bowl, they'll explain how that all went down. So I'm like, go Birds!
Yeah.
Right?
Which, I don't follow football at all. I don't follow any sports. But
I just know they're not a good team.
Well, growing up, they were not, right? Like, growing up, they were always.
Trash.
I recently, I feel like I heard recently, was it last year or this year, that they were like kicking ass, and I was like, the Eagles?
Are we talking about the Philadelphia Eagles?
Yeah,
they won a Super Bowl in the last decade.
Yeah, I don't even remember that, to be honest with you. I'm that far displaced from sports at all. So.
Sports ball.
Sports. I said sports at all. It probably sounded like sports ball, but sports at all doesn't. That's not even a thing. That's not even English.
Sports.
I definitely get that sometimes where I'll say something and just the words that are coming out of my mouth, like I have to wait, is that a language? Because it just sounds so alien. It's just like that weird epiphany moment of like, what I'm saying right now probably sounds really strange to someone who doesn't speak English. It's like in an international community like Seattle, I hear other people speak other languages, and sometimes I'll just hear them say something like a phrase or a word or something, and I just think to myself, like, that just sounds so strange. And I have that
sound of it.
Yeah, just like the sound of it, like just the way that the syllables all come together just sounds fascinating, interesting. It just doesn't sound like it should be a language in a weird sort of way. And I have those moments where I realize other people feel that way about the English and the words that are coming out of my mouth as well. And that's just really strange.
I think the big thing that a lot of other languages think is that our language is just very monotone. We don't have a lot of sing-songiness like they do in French or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, there's just not a lot of consistency with the English language either.
But sometimes I'll even be typing. Like, I wrote an article about how to grill pizza the other day, and as I'm typing, I'm like, the word pizza looks so, that can't be how that's spelled. Like after a while, you're like, that don't look right.
You start questioning it.
Yes, you start questioning it.
And suddenly,
when you meet a person, I was gonna say, when you meet a person that does, speak with a lot of different pitches and things, it's always, it seems like they're putting on an act. It seems like,
oh yeah,
hey, how are you today? What's going on with you? And you're like,
are you a robot?
You don't speak.
Are you trying to tell me something?
Yeah, that's not real.
Are you okay?
You're just waiting for
you can't be that positive, and you can't be that nice. Like, what the hell is this?
Robot.
Oh, I do not trust like people who are overly positive. It's my worst trait. I'm like, oh, you seem too nice. You must be so full of it. Like, I
expect when I hear someone talking like that, I immediately suspect that they're part of a multi-level marketing situation. So like, all right,
totally.
Get this over. What are you trying to sell me? Makeup? Are you trying to sell me essential oils, leggings? None of those things I am personally interested in. You've got the wrong guy. But
hey, hun, it looks like you. I love the beard that you've been growing in quarantine. I'm just looking for some people to try out this new beard oil from doTERRA.
Want to throw a party? Let's have a party at your house.
Have a party. Buy some.
We'll have a party at my house, and we'll celebrate the great Thanksgiving tradition of spreading communicable diseases.
Yes. To your point of not trusting people that are overly positive and nice, I was just telling Karen earlier.
Trust me?
No, I can't trust. Whenever somebody gives me a thumbs up emoji, I'm always like, they're being a dick. Like, there's no way. Thumbs up is always like, yeah, thumbs up, bro. And that's how in my mind I'm jaded or something.
Yeah.
And then whenever someone does on Facebook, the hugging, the heart, I'm always like
the care reaction.
Yeah, the care one.
I did that to you earlier.
There's no way people care. I was like, there's no way they care. I feel like people are just. I know. But my first reaction is like I know. Thank you. My first reaction though is always like, they're mocking me, like, and that's in my own brain, I guess. But I know you're very genuine. But that's where I go.
So, like at NAMM,
that's a flaw of mine. So to your point.
So at NAMM, there's the big pedal booth that we do, the boutique effects showcase, and oftentimes I am there trying to get people into the booth to see and like try things out and play. And frequently I will freak people out because I'm being so friendly.
Oh yeah, that happens.
So you're like, "Hi, how are you doing?" And they're like,
"Do you know me?"
Yeah, have we met?
No, that's the one I would always get if I was like working the drink tickets counter at Timber. Someone come and like, "Hey, how's it going?" And they'd be like, "Have we met?" I'm like, "No, I'm literally just being friendly."
Yeah, it's like I just smile because it's better than frowning, I suppose.
And well, I don't want to. I'm trying to be nice to the person who's trying to, support us, and
yeah.
And sometimes you see people and you just want to smile because it's nice.
Sometimes you're just happy. Like
I feel like in a world of masks, moving on to like the idea of moving onto a world without masks again in the future, I feel like seeing someone's teeth and a smile is going to feel so intimate. It's going to be really strange.
Oh,
scary! It'll be scary. You'll be like, what's wrong with you?
I don't know about y'all. I don't know about Jens, but when I like watch movies now or TV shows and like people are out in public doing things or like have people over, I'm like, this is just irresponsible.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? There's a pandemic on.
We're at the point. Well, so the pandemic's been happening long enough where people are like just posting like the repost like this happened 1 year or 2 years ago or whatever. And I'm like my gut response is like, oh, why are there so many? That's a birthday party. Oh my God. What are you guys?
Too many people.
Too many people. And I'm like, oh, check the date. That was from 2017. All is good. Okay.
And now you watch TV and you're like, if this is taking place now, is this in an alternate timeline? Is it actually 2019? Is it the future? Like, I think This Is Us is the only show I can think of where they're actually like working the pandemic into the show.
I think that Law and Order SVU is also doing that.
Oh, good.
So that's pretty cool because they usually try to tie in.
Still on that show?
Yes.
Thank God.
I love her.
Thank God. I love her so much.
Isn't she the highest paid actor or woman actor in? I don't know what it's called. Apparently, actress is not the term.
Actor.
actor,
lady actor
on television. Isn't she like the highest
paid?
paid?
I hope she would deserve it.
Well, there's actors and then there's male actors. There's
actors and male actors.
I just know that I dated a girl that acted many, many years ago, and she was an actor, which was the first time that I was aware that that was a thing. So I don't know.
I
think Grant, I sent you an episode related message on Messenger. Just quick aside.
You sent me a message on
yes.
Oh, okay, let me look. I'm getting updates about my grandma. My grandma. Okay, she's doing better. My grandma went to the hospital yesterday. She's 96 years old, and we were worried that she might have had COVID, but apparently she was just dehydrated and was having low kidney function because of that. So, but this woman, when we moved down here 4 years ago, she would have been 92, and we stopped by her house just to say hi because we were passing through, and we roll up to her in her driveway and get out of the car, and she's in her garden on her knees, hands and knees, gardening at 92. Like,
them's good genes.
I hope I can be doing that at half her age because my knees and my back are already all messed up. But she's doing better, so that's wonderful.
You were also a musician, which is hard on the body.
Yeah.
Glad to hear she's doing better.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Absolutely.
Hold on. Let me see if I can.
I have to look.
No, it's not. I'll show you in a second.
Did you send that to the joint?
That's hilarious.
And why didn't you send that to all of us?
There we go. All right, so here.
Oh, you just sent an enormous thumbs up.
Several. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So for those who are not watching, Andrew had sent Grant Facebook messages that was just a bunch of thumbs up in a row, and then Grant responded with a middle finger emoji.
Emoji talk.
He was talking about how when people send him thumbs up just a couple minutes ago and how he feels about that, and he was sharing his deep, intimate thoughts on digital
I can't even send a thumbs
communication. And I just happened to have Messenger open with my thread with him.
Do you guys not feel that way about the thumbs up emoji though? Is that not like thought of as being kind of like?
It definitely feels as like a okay, good enough, go away kind of a.
Yeah.
I mean, that's only how I use it for you, Andrew.
Aw. I can't. Don't cry. Stay strong. You're on camera.
Emily just sent a bunch of thumbs up.
Okay, normally this emoji would be a fist bump, but right now it's a punch. So
fight.
we're throwing down.
All right,
we were talking about this before the episode, but that's why that's relevant.
We actually were. Mm-hmm.
Good to know.
So before the episode, we were talking about fighting, and I was talking about how I read somewhere that if you're about to get into a fight with a person and they actually square up, like take a boxing or karate stance, you should just be like, nope, sorry, bye. Especially if you've never fought before. Be like, because like if somebody just immediately goes into their stance and it's like gets low, like obviously has done this before, maybe just be like, no, it's okay, it's fine, because you don't know what their level of like training is at that point. Like they could be a freaking like 3x black belt in karate, and you could be like, even if you're bigger than them at that point, they're probably going to kick your ass.
You're about to get your ass whooped, basically.
Yeah. Like, nope.
They come up to you and they're like,
Karen just went to the screen with both of her hands.
You run away even faster.
I think at that point I would just like just do that Big Brother thing where you like put your hand on their head and they just like yelling at you.
Yeah, especially Karen, because she's like shorter and smaller, has little arms.
Really small arms.
Oh, so cute. What's the fight?
All right, so I have something.
We haven't talked about music at the gear at all.
I have some new gear that I would like to show off, but it's not the sort of gear that you would think about for this podcast. It's a little. It's related to my T-shirt, which for those not watching is a ugly sweater T-shirt pattern, but it's Star Wars. So you got
pretty awesome. I was just looking at it.
AT-ATs and some TIE fighters and some Darth Vaders. It's great.
Very cool. And I was looking at Emily's sweater, the Intarsia as well, thinking that you guys go together in a very Christmas holiday sort of situation.
Oh, that's definitely different gear than I was expecting.
Oh. And I don't even know how much of this people will see on the podcast.
I don't know. Here,
what is that, Andrew? I don't know what that is.
This is the Tantive 4, which is Leia's Corellian starship that you see at the very beginning of episode 4.
The one that gets boarded?
The one that gets boarded, yep.
So You're too far from the mic, by the way. Get closer.
It's the one that gets boarded, and this was a birthday present from my dad. Oops, just dropped a piece. We'll fix that later. But it was a birthday present from my dad, and I took a weekend.
Legos?
It is Legos. It's like 1,700 pieces. It took me forever to make it, like 3 days.
Wow.
Wow.
Did you glue them together? How is it so sticking together?
I did not glue them together. It's just relatively well designed.
It's robust.
It is quite robust, and it's got the radar dish doubles as a carrying handle. Like, that's intentional. And this is the instruction booklet for it. I mean, that's thick.
Whoa.
That's a solid half-inch thick.
This is why Legos are so expensive. I've been buying them for my a nephew, and as he gets older, they get progressively larger.
Mm-hmm.
And progressively more expensive.
Yeah.
Well, if you buy just the generic Legos, they're not terrible. I mean, they're expensive for little bits of plastic. But when you're buying
the kit,
Star Wars, or you're buying, any movie, whenever it was like my nephew, the Pirates of the Caribbean, however the hell you say it, that then you're paying, licensing fees, and then that shit gets expensive.
Right.
I also got something new. I don't know if I'm allowed to show you guys, but I brought it up. I brought it up because I thought it would be fun to talk about. But let me unplug here real quick, and I'm going to go grab it. It's just right over there. So.
Okay. I'll talk about my new thing, which is not new, maybe. I have a pedal called Eat the Rich by Swamp Witch Effects.
Nice.
It says Eat the Rich. I was thinking about filming and releasing it on Thanksgiving, but I don't think I will.
I see two necks. I see two necks.
Oh my god! Is it a mandolin / bass guitar? No, it's a bass guitar / electric guitar.
Please don't slice me. Grant, when he opened it yesterday, sliced his hand and blood was coming out, and it was.
What?
Well, so the guy, whoever, I'm not sure who it was that did this, but whoever put the new strings on it left like this much hanging off of each one.
No.
Like too much, man. And I got all poked and just bled everywhere. So this thing just came in from Reverb.
Oh,
yes.
Dude.
It's a 4 on top,
cool.
6 on the bottom. And it actually is riddled with issues.
It's a double neck guitar, vaguely an SG shape, with a bass guitar on the top and a 6-string guitar on the bottom, for those who are listening.
Which I'm very excited about, because Karen and I have been, during this quarantine, I've been teaching her how to play drums, which is my main instrument, I guess. That's what I did when I was in a band. I was a professional drummer, I guess. And so played guitar my whole life, but drums was the thing that I did. And so I've been teaching her to play drums, and so I play bass just so she has some. It's more fun to jam, to play along to with somebody than just sitting there with a metronome and playing the same beat over and over again. I was like, it'd be cool to have a bass and a guitar at the same time. And then I found this thing, but like I said, it has all kinds of issues. I need to message the seller about the neck pickup on the bass does not work. It might just be wiring. I haven't opened it up yet. There's grounding issues. It makes all kinds of noise. The bridge pickup is crackly. So there's all these things. However, it looks just really cool.
Yeah.
How
heavy is it?
It's heavy as hell. It's not an offset, but it is. I love the necks. The back of the neck, this like stained brown against the cream white body. Like, it just looks so cool.
Yeah.
And I want to make it. I think it has the bones. You know what I mean? But I want to get it working appropriate, like the way it should. And I'm not sure how that's going to work, because it's going to cost, I don't do guitar work, so it's going to cost some money. And so I don't know how.
But you can solder, like you can fix a broken wire.
I mean, if that's what it is, but let's say it is an actual bad neck pickup. It's like a mudbucker, but it's a little different dimensions than an actual mudbucker. So I would need to have this either rewound or else have to like reroute the body for a different pick. Like, it's just, I mean, maybe actually no, it just screws onto the body. I know nothing about pickups. I don't do that. So either way, I have to send the guy a message and be a bummer, and that kind of sucks because every time I've ever bought anything online, it's always been great. First time that I got bit. So, but it looks cool, so I want to fix it so I can play this thing and it's functional.
You did put it up for a lower price. Maybe that was part of the. It
was cheaper than it probably should have been, but it didn't say any of these problems. It said everything was
fully functional. You gotta disclose them.
And like some things like the neck.
You gotta be upfront about that as a seller.
You can't see it. I wouldn't be able to show you. Probably it'd be hard to tell, but the guitar neck looks like it was cracked and glued back together underneath the where it fits into the pocket. And so that wasn't mentioned. And there's some other damage that wasn't mentioned. So, I gotta write that email.
Disclose that stuff.
Yeah, you gotta let me know, man.
Yep.
Yeah. So
yeah,
still cool. Still cool.
That's a party foul.
Yeah,
it is. I just want to look at that. I see some really great bones in that guitar, and I think that's going to be super fun once you get that fully functional. Congratulations on your new acts of doom and delightfulness.
Yeah.
Let's thank our sponsors really quickly. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. I was going to say.
I thought we were done.
Just because of our band, it's kind of like the thing. Not our band, but our quote quarantine 2-piece band, which we accidentally became a band. But it's like because of that, it makes me feel like this instrument could be something to start a band around. Like it could be the instrument that if we started playing live, that would be like the mascot, so to speak, of the band. People would like, that instrument, that's that band. It's like sound, whatever. So sponsors.
Well, speaking of starting bands, if you have a band that has music that's recorded and you want to release it on the internet, DistroKid, check them out. It is $19.99 a year for unlimited releases under up to, I think, 2 band names with a host of other cool features. Get paid for having your music on Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, Tidal, what have you. And sign up in the link in the video description and the show notes. Save 7% on your first year of DistroKid, and it's a great and easy way to support the show/channel. Thank you, DistroKid, for being bros.
Hey, I'm going to do that. I'm going to sign up with your account because, I'm about to release a song.
All right.
Do it.
I don't know anything about that stuff. So I've heard you talk about them before, and so hell yeah.
I'll send you a link right now. Boop. /VIP/get offset.
Like psych, it's actually just a bunch of thumbs ups.
There's the link.
There she blows.
distrokid.com/VIP/get offset. That is your discount.
We've had a pretty good amount of clicks and signups, actually. It's pretty nice.
Saving some money is always a good thing. We appreciate the clicks, the signups. All of that makes a difference for us as well.
It does. It really does. Same with if you want to buy stuff on reverb.com. Use the affiliate link, please. Please. And that's all I got. So Andrew came up with the topic for today because apparently he and I got into a tiff.
Just a slight tiff. We got into a slight tiff on Discord, in the Get Offset Discord channel.
And if you're a Patreon supporter, you can get access to the Discord channel for as little as $1 a month until the end of the year, and then I'm bumping it up to $5 a month. Gets access to the Discord.
Get in while you can.
Grandfathered in. You'll be grandfathered in at the $1 level.
So it's a lot of fun, and we definitely welcome you egging me on to fight Emily. But anyways. So we unprovoked got into a little bit of a tiff over a conversation, and it more or less started with me making the assertion that buy local as a value statement. So just like the idea of buy local and the way that the messaging is all revolving around that is just not super compelling for your average consumer. It needs a little bit something more to compel more people, because in and of itself, it's really tough to tell someone buy local when the other value proposition in the world of e-commerce is I don't have to leave my house and it can be delivered to my front doorstep in 48 hours or 72 hours, just a couple of days, and it's just here and I don't have to go out. And I think that's especially pertinent as a conversation, because in a world of COVID, that's even more like that's even more damaging to local businesses. And so I don't bring this up as a topic of conversation because I hate local businesses, and that's not why I'm saying this. My point in saying this is in an attempt to think critically here. I don't feel like buy local by itself is enough for a lot of people. I think it's enough for people who have a really deep intrinsic and already established desire to prop up their local community, but I don't think that applies across the board to all consumers. And I just
I do want to say that I very quickly did say that not all small businesses and local businesses deserve support, because there are businesses in Seattle that are run by really, really terrible people, cruel people who should probably be in jail or have charges placed against them in a court of law. And so like, I'm not saying that buy local, shop small is like a holy grail, but I do think that consumers should feel compelled to support their local communities whenever humanly possible. That was kind of what I was saying.
Fair enough. And I agree with that. But I guess the conversation shifts into how do we add some more oomph? Does it even need more oomph? Because I don't know.
I think shop local is interesting because let's say because we're in Nashville, right? So if you're a small music shop, let's say like Eastside Music Supply, for example. They have, this is Nashville. There's tons of guitar players here. There's tons of musicians here. They're probably going to be fine. But let's say you're a small boutique seller of pedals, but you're in the outskirts of like 30 minutes outside of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, or something like that, where there isn't the so then like the market of people. So I feel like, shop small, like you said, makes more sense, because like I would support that shop, as I also support Eastside, but I'm saying like, because that shop might actually go out of business. And if I like them and I think they're good people, you know what I mean? Like, because they don't have the pool where they're from. Even if everybody in their local community that played guitar bought something, that still might not be enough for some businesses. So I feel like shop small, shop from people, shop from like support your mans, not the man, like.
Yeah. And this, I do want to say this conversation started because I was like, I think we were talking about Sweetwater, and basically that, I don't really plan on buying from Sweetwater I've never bought very often from Sweetwater. I bought like a microphone and a guitar strap from them in the past like 5 or 6 years, but and it's because I prefer to buy from places like American Music, the Guitar Store when that was a thing, Thunder Road, Emerald City, Trading Musician. I do prefer to buy from places like that. Because Andrew, you were even talking about like the 48 hour stuff, but like what happens when you need a set of strings on the road and you can't just go on to Amazon and buy your set of strings? Like sometimes you need stuff more immediately. Sometimes you need to leave the house for things. I mean, you can watch demos, and I implore that you do because personal reasons, but you go into a guitar shop that actually has pedals and you can try things out, try out different delays and reverbs in the store before you commit to it. Like that's pretty huge. And like, I think that the one of the biggest reasons I can think of to support small businesses, even if it's less convenient, is because you want them to be around when you need them.
I agree.
Because if they're not around when you need them, like, I miss Radio Shack. I might be alone in that, but I miss Radio Shack. I miss Radio Shack because when you needed that thing that you needed to make your computer work, you go down to Radio Shack. They usually employed intelligent people who knew what they were talking about, could actually help you with stuff. Like, I miss it. That was a great place, and it's kind of, and we didn't support Radio Shack, and now there aren't Radio Shacks.
Real quick, we were, where were we going? Was it when we went to South by 2 years ago?
So, yeah.
We had to stop, pull off the highway to get gas, and we pulled into this random little town in the middle of nowhere. And beside the gas station was a Radio Shack.
Nice.
And I thought they were all gone, and I was so excited, and we were on a deadline, but I was like, Karen, you have to let me go in. Like, I need to go into the Radio Shack right now. And I got all these knobs and, like, you know, the big knobs that you can use with your foot, like to adjust with your foot. Like, I got a bunch of those, and they were like 35 cents a piece, and like these big, like 20 millimeter or 10 millimeter LEDs that are just huge. And everything was so cheap. I was like, this is amazing. I love Radio Shack.
Yeah. No, I miss, like, and if we don't support small businesses and local businesses especially, like, we're not going to have that.
Well, I agree. So I agree with all of that. I guess the thought that I've got running around in my head is that is all very compelling for people like you and I. But how do we condense that? How do we make that more palatable and more compelling for your average consumer? And I know this is a flawed example in part because it's Guitar Center, but I worked at Guitar Center for a couple of years, and I could not tell you how many times I would have someone say, hey, I would get to talking with them. They say, oh, I really want this. And whether it be a guitar or a keyboard or whatever it was that I was selling at the time, at some point in the conversation, they go, okay, you need to give me a deal on this. I'm like, okay, well, why? Because at that point in time, my store manager is not big on giving out deals.
Did Guitar Center not have a price match guarantee?
They have a price match guarantee from certain websites, but it has to be the time the deal was authorized vendors. Those are the only people that they would authorize from, and that they would only price match on the sale price, and they couldn't match the sale price after tax and shipping, which is problematic because a lot of online B&H is the number one that I can think of, is based out of, I think they're based out of New York, and they don't have to charge tax for outbound shipments. And so people would come in and say, hey,
they're just skating around that still, because even Sweetwater's charging sales tax now.
It's dependent on state laws, I believe. So and this is also like 3-4 years ago. Yeah. But people would pull up their phones and show me like, hey, I've got this in my cart and I'm one button away. I could buy this and save all the sales tax and have it delivered in 2 days. I don't need it till this weekend. So why should I buy it from you now if you're not going to hook me up? And I'm just sitting here going like, because I just spent 3 hours with you, or probably not 3 hours. It probably felt like it, but I spent half an hour with you talking about what your options are and trying to make sure you're taken care of. And I get paid a huge chunk of my paycheck is the commission off the sales. Like we're talking about, like if we're talking, one of the examples I can think of off the top of my head is I was selling a Nord Stage 2, it's like a $5,000 keyboard. I'm like, that's not an insignificant chunk of change that you're about to just yank from me to save you $400, which I empathize with that because that's not an insignificant
sales tax is very high. It's very high in Seattle. It's 10%.
This particular instance was in the Pasadena location out in LA, and I think it was exactly 10% at the time. So it was like $500 that the dude would have saved.
Well, I mean, that's another conversation to have about whether or not sales tax is equitable. Because it's not.
But that's just an in-person example where someone's looking at me in the face and like, no, I'll just buy it somewhere else and you don't get your commission, but thanks for the help.
But that's like another thing, like, are we going to blame consumers for shopping, like trying to find the best deal? That's fine. But the difference here is literally sales tax. And that's a bigger issue than just like, should you eat the extra 10% on something that's that expensive when you don't have to? I'd argue no. And I'd also argue that's not any business's fault. That's the fault of Seattle, or in that case, Pasadena's sales tax versus having an income tax, which would perhaps be more equitable and could also perhaps cause billionaires like Bill Gates or whoever to leave, which would not be great for Seattle's local economy. It's a lot to navigate, is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, it's definitely very complex. I don't bring up this topic in the sense of like that. I want to bring up the topic and I've got the gotcha answer. Ha ha, suck it. Like that's not. I think there's so much to unpack here, and I think the more we talk about it, the more it's like.
I don't know if like a Sweetwater salesperson works off commission. They very well may. But you're just calling in, so they're not really making a sale like a actual in-person Guitar Center employee is. That's actually walking you through the instrument, taking it, plugging it in for you, getting. I would imagine maybe Sweetwater might not get commissions, but regardless, if you're buying from I don't think Sweetwater's like. If you don't buy something from them and you go to a local business, nobody from Sweetwater is going to like default on their house payment. Whereas the local music store could, and I feel like that may be if you could communicate that to people, like, hey, have you ever thought about or have you ever had a month where you were like struggling to pay your rent, or like what it would be like to be like get booted, and then you're like, oh, that would suck. I wouldn't want that to happen to anybody, especially someone that's promoting the community, that's helping, bring joy to musicians and actually actively, when you go to a local shop, they're always so helpful and like, can I try this pedal out? Of course, man. Like try it out, plug it in, it's never weird. And
like you said, they're the ones who are doing things like sponsoring the Folklife Festival. Yeah. They're the ones who are doing things for local musicians in the local community.
Yeah, we had James Schultz on the show last month, a month before.
From the Guitar Store.
From the Guitar Store. And hearing him talk about all the things that he's done for the community and how he's currently involved and what his future plans are, he's not just a shop owner. He is very much an established part of the community and part of the glue that
he's a pillar.
Absolutely. Absolute legend of a dude, and it would be a huge shame to see him go completely out of business and for all of everything he's been holding up to fall to pieces. Mm-hmm. I think that's a lot though, and I guess how do you my whole thought process is so formed around messaging, because in and of itself, buy local seems so feeble. You have to unpack so much of it, like what that means for the consumer. And I don't know how to communicate how much really sits under the surface of what buy local means.
And but like, it's the same thing about how can you convince somebody that they should be nice to other people, that they should care about other people? How can you talk to somebody and say, you should support your community in which you live? Because the bottom line is, if somebody doesn't want to support their own community, nothing you say, nothing you message can change their mind. They don't see it as part of their community. They don't see it as part of their problem. And that's what, when you say it's not a strong enough value statement, all I can think of is how do you explain to somebody that what happens in your community matters, and that there are shops and local things in your community that affect your local community, versus buying everything on Amazon or from Guitar Center, which is basically just homogenization,
right?
And which means aggressive sameness everywhere. Because if all you have is like the Guitar Centers and all they carry are these brands, then you don't have places like the Guitar Store that carry recovery effects or carry sinusoid cables, or Lawler's not a great example, but local pickup winder, like giving these other small brands a chance to grow or have that sort of unique flavor that you want in your local community. Like, you're proud of your local community because like even when you move away, like I'm from Cincinnati, I'm still like, hell yeah, Skyline Chili, hell yeah, Grater's Ice Cream and La Rosa's Pizza, like hell yeah, like Guided by Voices and the Breeders up in Dayton. Like that is what mattered to me, and that's what makes me feel a little bit special to be from a place. And if we don't have that sort of unique culture, then between different places, which is small business is a huge part of that, like then it's just homogenization.
Right. Oh yeah, I could definitely get into the frustration that I constantly felt when someone would walk into a Guitar Center like, hey, I want to buy a guitar pedal and here's the sound I'm looking for. And in the back of my head, I'm like, I know what this person really, really needs, and it's not in our shelf. It's just, it's not. Like, there's like 8 different things I could point them to. I'm going to get commission on none of them. But yeah, I mean, homogenization is absolutely, I guess, in a big city like Seattle or Los Angeles, I guess it's really easy to feel like it's just kind of the ether, and you just like, you go to work and you come home to your apartment, and that's kind of it, and you're kind of just lost in how big the city is and not really participating in the culture. And I guess for someone like that, who have definitely been in the past, and it's really easy to just become that person. The idea of just having it something shipped to your door and just really impersonal that's kind of appealing. I don't know. You don't have to go out.
It's different, but buying computer monitors is different than buying like a fuzz pedal from Grant and Karen.
I think it should be. I think for a lot of people, it's not.
Then why is anybody doing this? Does that even sound like your customers though, Grant and Karen?
Does that sound like ours, or are you saying, what did you say?
Yeah, does that even sound like your customers, not Karen?
No, we're
most of our customers, actually, quite a few of our customers have emailed us saying specifically that they wanted to support us mainly because we are a small business, which is cool. I think our Instagram presence really helps keep us, aware, like in the community, active. I think a lot of times the issue is with small businesses is people don't actually know where to go. So, like let's say I'm looking for a pillow, special pillow, and I want to find a place, a home store or something like that is not like Home Goods, right? So I know that American Express tries to do that shop small thing, where they highlight all the small businesses. But it would be kind of interesting if there was a site or something that what sort of encompasses a lot of different industries and have, specific rated, specifically like highlighted small businesses that you could support in your local community. So you could like look it up and see different reviews. I think that'd be kind of interesting. Like I was saying, American Express does a shop small thing, but I think you really have to be part of that American Express thing, which is kind of
American Express, which is
kind of the opposite of what that is.
Truly.
But we have a lot of cool people that, like she said, do want to support small brands. They do want to support us because they know us, and it's not just that they feel like they know us; they actually do know us. Like I spend a good chunk of my time daily just talking to people that DM us, and it's never just answering a question. It's like I'll go into full on conversations, and just last night a guy was sending me pictures of his new cat, and like that, I mean, he's never even bought a pedal like that I'm aware of, at least from us directly, but was just wanting to talk. And I love talking to people. So it's kind of that thing. And then people were like, oh, I like these people, or maybe they don't, maybe I say something wrong sometimes, but it's a human thing. It's a human to human. Like they like people and they want to support people that they like. And so I think that's a big part of it. And the other thing is right now we've been like with the Albee release, we didn't know how that was going to go because we've never made this many pedals at one time, and had to. It was on a wait time, and it was kind of shocking how many people were just like, "Oh yeah, I'll wait a couple weeks for a pedal," and not be irritated. Or there were a few people that wrote us back and were like, "Is it ready yet? Is it ready yet?" And it's like, "Well, we told you the lead time. It was on the site when you bought it." So there's always going to be some of that, but the overwhelming majority of people are like, no, it's cool. Take your time. I want this pedal and I want to support you guys. So I'm happy to do that. And it was really
received
nice
emails, more than one email actually, from customers kind of expecting us to be like Amazon, they'll order something and then within 3 hours they'll say, I haven't received a shipping notification. But when I write them back, I usually say like, hey, just letting you know, it's like 2 of us.
I think that happens as a result of doing demos with other channels that that we're not, like
So-
you doing a demo. It's, you could assume that people that know you and watch your demo also have maybe heard the episode we were on and maybe know that we're just a 2-person team, right? But then, if we have somebody else do a demo like RJ Ronquillo, his audience doesn't know us.
Yeah.
And so they see the pedal and they go, oh, I like how that sounds. They impulse buy it.
Or even by word of mouth.
And then they might email us in 3 hours, like, where's my tracking? And it's like,
so, but
then you have to introduce yourself kind of.
Well, it's being handmade.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm, yeah. And oftentimes I'll say, hi, I'm Karen. I just wanted to let you know that Karen and Grant, we are a 2-person team and we're trying as best as we can, to get through the orders, but we are just a very small business. And almost every single time I get oh my gosh, that's amazing. I didn't realize. Like I'm even happier to be supporting you guys now. So I think that the general
and the people who are rude will stand out, but I think I think you're right.
And you usually know right away whenever it's one of those people, you can tell like this person's going to be a problem, and it's only 1 out of 100. But sometimes you get people that just say mean things or that are really like aggressive or like foul or just like
and it sticks with you in a weird way.
Yeah, and it's weird because like you're just like, why would you ever write to anybody ever? And like, because I didn't get something in 3 hours. Like, I just don't understand that. But again, maybe that lends to your. I was gonna say, lends to kind of like what is the compelling thought there that makes people decide, like that makes them aware you are supporting small. You are that this is what it is. So.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I have another client who sells hot sauce, and one thing that they talk about a lot is people will bulk at their shipping prices because they don't get the Amazon discount, the bulk discount you get when you're a shipper from Amazon. Like they can't ship things. They can't ship like 9 bottles of hot sauce for free. That stuff is heavy.
Yeah.
So they get people like, well, we could buy it on Amazon for less. And then, Stacy, the owner of Secret Artwork, is like, that's great. That's why we have Amazon shippers.
You still have some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't have that on my desk. I have El Yucateco on my desk today.
Cool.
It's very hot.
On the flip side, I also know what living in New York was like, and you literally would stand inside your doorway because you heard the other person, your neighbor, like walking out, and you don't necessarily want to have a conversation with them. Yeah. So I understand the mentality of like just being inundated all the time to want something very simple and easy.
Right.
That being said.
So here.
That being said, one thing I want to add real quick is whenever you do live in a city and you do order from someone like Sweetwater or Guitar Center, they always put their name on the box.
And then it gets stolen.
And I have had so much stuff get stolen out of our Brooklyn apartment before we moved down here. Because specifically I'm pretty sure that's the reason. Because it's basically a box. Like, it's like, hey, steal me. There's music stuff in here.
Yeah.
This is worth something on OfferUp.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes I'll buy things. And it'll be like, this comes in packaging that makes it clear what it is. Every once in a while I'll see that. I'm like, yeah. But I'm also home all day, every day. So I haven't had a porch thief problem, I don't think, since we've moved into our townhouse, just because it's kind of like around the corner. But I mean, I've definitely had stuff stolen before, and it sucks.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen when you buy something in a store. Sometimes at the guitar store, they would walk you out. I
had a Goodrich volume pedal stolen that I was going to use on our demo board. And I made a post about it. I said something about it online. And Josh Scott, who at the time was selling, I don't know if they do this anymore, but like modified with a buffer, Ernie Ball volume pedals, just sent me one.
Aww.
Because mine got stolen off out of our hallway.
Is that
so that was real nice of him.
The story of the old neighbor?
No, that was actually an Electro Harmonics tube zipper that got stolen that time. And I confronted our neighbor's friend about it.
Our neighbor's guest who was staying over.
Because I just had a sneaky suspicion.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And it got a little ugly. But
he was super twitchy.
he was like really twitchy and really like he wouldn't look at me. And it was like, dude, if you didn't do anything, but I'm pretty sure
you got nothing to worry about.
He got away with my tube zipper. And then, you know what? I never bought another tube zipper. I never bought one again because I had this bad taste in my mouth. Like I was like, damn it, I had bought one and it got stolen and now I'm not even buying one. But I would like to buy one of those pedals because they seem really fun. So anyway, I just bought a couple hundred other pedals instead to make myself feel better.
To fill that hole in the heart. Yeah.
So I just had an interesting thought and actually
just keep trying. So
I had an interesting thought because you're talking about like how do people know that they're buying from a small business, and in another industry, there's an association. It's the Brewers Independent Craft Association for craft brewers of beer, and it's the upside down bottle on the logo on the side of the bottle when you go shopping. And like, okay, if I see that, that means I'm supporting someone who's a smaller business and does not make more than X amount every year. And I'm wondering if there's what it would take to do something like that, and if that would even be beneficial for our industry. Some sort of an independent, small pedal maker. I don't know if pedals or small gear, or whether it be for stores or, and with that, that would come with a website and a directory and all that. Would that be beneficial? Do you guys think?
It could be, but then the question is, it kind of like what's boutique, what's not, like what is small, what's not, how big is Keeley a small business? You know what I mean? Because it is owned by a guy, and it is people running and working in a shop, and it is real people that are real musicians, that are local musicians. You know what I mean? But then you'd look at them and be like, they're huge compared to like our friend AWOL Pedals, which is a one-man operation that powder coats his own enclosures and drills them. So it's like, where is that cutoff? How does that work?
Where do you draw the line?
Exactly. But it could be definitely cool and helpful. Right. And then how many people would even know like that symbol? Because like what you're talking about, I did not know that was a thing. I don't drink beer anymore. I haven't in 9 years, but I don't know if that was a thing back then. And if it was, I was wholly unaware because I just, was drinking to get drunk and not like to support anyone making alcohol. But I would think like there's people probably that buy pedals that would want to support, but like if there's an upside down guitar or something, or an upside down pedal, would they even know what that even meant? Like to how does that translate?
I've never heard of that, and I don't drink beer, but I support small brewers when I can. I didn't know that was a thing, Andrew.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe I'm just a nerd,
but yeah,
on that.
No,
but.
Like like the Zagat survey, or the
Zagat
for restaurant Zagat,
yeah,
that kind of thing could be helpful if someone ever wanted to make a site. Someone out there.
I love
but then you're judging the people.
I'm going to tell you, I'm just going to go ahead and say, let's talk, because I think I would like to do that.
That's awesome.
I like that idea, actually.
Yeah. And honestly, like it's not exactly I don't think the most profitable venture, but it could be.
It won't be profitable, but it'll pay for itself.
Yeah. The ads in itself could pay for itself, but
100%.
Yeah, so what I would hate to see is if some sort of association like that kind of turns into a you owe us money if you want to be on this list sort of situation. I have no idea what it's like for this industry, and for the Independent Brewers Association, I'll move away from that topic. I want to be respectful.
I mean, I wouldn't charge anybody to do this. I just I think it's a really good idea.
Yeah,
right.
Just like just a fair review, kind of.
Not even review necessarily, but just like
introduction.
Like this is who they are.
Yeah.
This is who this company is. And then you could decide for yourself, like, oh, there's this many employees, for example, or they're based out of this city, and that might be all it takes. Be like, oh dang, there's a company in 10 minutes from my hometown that supports 38 local musicians and gives them health insurance. Like, I want to buy from that company,
Yeah, okay, so what are things that you would like to see on like an info page for that? We're just gonna hash this out live. Like, would you like a location, number of employees, number of units made per year?
Good luck getting that number.
I think
because I know that's something that people hold that close.
Or lie about.
I do think like who they are as a company. That's easy enough, you know. I think just
it wouldn't
in
even
general,
have to be crazy.
having it be on that site in a directory, that in itself is really, really helpful.
Because if you're like, well, wait, are there local guitar pedal companies to where I am? You can
exactly.
Like, oh yeah, look at all these builders in the Pacific Northwest. There's Spun Lab, there's Recovery, there's Mr. Black down there in Portland. I think that's a really good idea.
And then in pickups, you've got
Lawler,
Lambertones, Lawler. There's also Rick Matthews, who's over on the other side of the mountains from us.
Porter Pickups is Boise, or it's in Idaho, maybe.
Sure, and the fact that, and I'm sure that there's more that I'm not even aware about. I think Abominable Electronics just moved out here like last year.
I think they've been out here.
But yeah, I mean,
I think Nick Greer is moving to Seattle, right?
What?
Is that where he's moving? Nick Greer is moving, or Portland, maybe.
What?
I don't know. West Coast places. Isn't that where he's moving?
Spreading rumors here. Who knows?
I'm just lying. No, I don't know. I'm gonna look it up right now. Nick Greer is moving. I know he's just right now.
Where
like the past couple of days, he's been in a U-Haul driving across the country, and I was under the impression that he was moving to some Pacific Northwest city. I don't.
He hasn't posted on Facebook in a while. Huh.
Yeah, here's 4 days ago he was
Beaverton
from Missouri. He was live streaming from his U-Haul from Missouri, which is not probably the safest thing to do.
Oh, I see big move westward.
He just posted that they're in Boise, Idaho 2 days ago, and then said Beaverton by sunset. That's the most recent post here. And I think Beaverton's just outside of Portland, so I would assume if they're going from Boise, if they're going to Seattle, then they wouldn't go through Beaverton. So I'm assuming they're going to the PDX area.
That's really awesome.
But yeah, so he's going to be kind of in your hood a little bit anyway.
Yeah. And I think it'll also be helpful for companies themselves, because then you can kind of decide where you want to locate. Like I know, like for Nashville, we have all kinds of different builders here.
Who to network with?
So much fun.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or who to reach out to if you
need a part.
Like with us in Nashville,
you
know, there's Zach from Mythos Pedals, there's Matt from 1981 Inventions, Brian from Quiet Theory, AWOL Pedals, Jesse from Rude Tech, Paul Cochran is just down the road. But all these different people, we reach out to people and be like, oh no, I ran out of this resistor value. do you have any of this random value? And I'll just like go over to Zach's house and pick up a bag of parts.
Or
you know
even
what I
the
mean?
dumbest thing, like we ran out of shipping bubble mailers one time.
Mailers?
And we were able to borrow from 4 different people bubble mailers.
We ran out because the USPS just kind of stopped delivering them for months. We were like ordering them, and they would just never send them. And
I think that's because I tried to trick the system.
Yeah, you can only order so many, and but they just never showed up. Well, they finally did after we shipped the first batch of Albies, but we had to go and borrow. Literally, we went to 4 different places from 4 different pedal builders and borrowed a stack of mailers from each one of them. You know, so it's awesome. It's just wonderful having that.
Actually, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, knowing that they're here, and if you're
community,
if you're in another city, you might not know that someone 20 minutes away even exists and makes pedals, you know?
And we do like Pizza Fridays.
So
where people get to hang.
Oh yeah, we do Pedal Builder Pizza Fridays.
All often. Socially distanced, but we actually stop because it's getting cold. But
because we only do it in the backyard, and it's like 10 feet away. We all sit and eat our own pizzas and hang out and talk. But
awesome. Well, I know that Andrew has to go, so that actually sounds like a really lovely place.
Oh, I've got one more question. Because now I'm really excited about this, and if anyone steals the idea we just came up with, I'm going to be very upset. I'm sure we'll get started on this here very quickly. So the question I have is gatekeeping. Grant and Karen, what are your thoughts on whether or not there should be like a ceiling or like number of employees or like some sort of criteria for whether or not you fall into the small business, or should it just be here's people that we care about and like, and we reserve the right to exclude certain people from the list?
If you could, it's your thing. If you're doing it, you do that. But you could also, it could be, companies. It could
just be informative and have the person, choose.
Like, if there was a pedal company with 100 employees, for example, or let's say even if it was like if Boss was in your town, or Roland had a division of Boss in your town,
sure.
Like, I know they're not a small business, but like you could still be like, look, Boss is also here,
like Earthquaker,
and they're not a small by any means business, but it's good to know they're here, and if you care about that, like it's just nice to know that, like,
yeah, because I don't know where they're located. They're still probably contributing a lot more to the local economy and the local culture than, someone equally sized or small somewhere else. If that's sure. You have to spend your money on your own values, and how you spend your money shows what you value. And if you don't value your local community, your spending is probably going to be indicative of that.
Real quick, Electro Harmonix was right up the road from us when we lived in Greenpoint. They're in Long Island City.
Speaking of
and nice. And so I actually, I don't know if I've ever told this story, but I applied for a job at Electro Harmonix before starting Big Ear, and they did not hire me, and so I started a guitar pedal company. Because I still loved it and wanted to do it, and so that's what happened.
Nice.
And so now the goal is someday I'd like to buy them.
Yes, I will take one Electro Harmonix.
Yeah. So we'll see how that plays out. Putting it out there. It's now on the record.
All right, it's on the record, and let us know when the GoFundMe is set up for that. We'll pitch in.
Very cool.
Well, I think, are you okay to end it there, Andrew? I know you have to bounce.
That was the last big question I had. I just kind of want to throw that out there. I like the idea of what Karen said for it to be informational.
Yeah. And I want to say thank you, Grant and Karen, for joining us so last minute. It's been a minute since we've had a guest at all, and y'all have been lovely. Thank you for saving us from ourselves.
Oh, we love you guys.
Thank you very much for letting us hang out.
You're sold out of almost everything, though, right now, aren't you?
Yeah. As of yesterday, we sold out of the last loaf and woodcutter, and then I think we have L right now. That's the only thing that is able to be made presently. I think I'm going to open up orders, I think, by Black Friday, and only because a lot of people, they get excited about it and they wait. And so we actually made a post the other day, and I'm sorry, I'll do this as fast as I can. I asked a question: would you guys rather a discount or would you rather a free T-shirt? Because some people do want to support, and they just want to show support, and they want to have that, way of whatever, like
free T-shirt,
publicly showing support.
Right.
And it was 59% of the people said free T-shirt over a discount, but that was really close. So right now I'm trying to figure out a way to make it so it's like you can we'll make a discount code or we'll make a free T-shirt code, so you can have your choice. You can save like $20 or something, or save or get a free shirt, whichever you want to do.
Well, we will be in Cyber Week when this episode drops.
Yeah. So it might have already happened then. But either way, you may see something like that, or you may have seen something like that. So cool.
I like that idea. I personally would much rather have a T-shirt than a discount because I like you guys.
Awesome.
I was just trying to buy something. That's how I noticed you weren't.
Well, actually, when you're done, send me a message with your shirt sizes, and we'll just send you some shirts.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
And we have 3 different styles presently that you can choose from.
All right, thank you.
A white, a gray, and a black are the 3 colors that we wear.
Yes. I mean, I'm gray today.
This is the only red shirt that I have. So, no, I much prefer like black or gray. It's slimming for my girlish figure.
Yeah. I know I said that was my last thing, but this is my last thing. I am a big guy. I can't wear red shirts. Maybe you know this, but when you're a big dude and you wear a red shirt, you look like the Kool-Aid man. So...
I don't think that's true. I think this is like one of the thumbs up thing.
Well, you still never seen me in a red shirt.
On that note, thank you so much, Grant and Karen, for joining us. To everyone watching, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for understanding. Until next time, my name is Emily.
My name is Andrew.
That's Grant and Karen. Goodbye.
Bye.